What is up, everybody? Tony here, Patio Slave Podcast, episode 56 with Anthony and Nate. As always, what are you guys up to?
Hanging out, headphones in, mic on, chatting with you fine fellas.
Yep, all ready to geek out, beer cracked, like Twan said, ready to go.
Yeah, we are excited to nerd tonight like we usually do. So that being said, hit us on the socials at Patio Slave on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, patioslavepodcast@gmail.com. Go to any of those places. Check our YouTube page. We got some visuals added to the episodes and cut them up a little bit too if you want to check it out that way. Yeah, we're on all of those spots. We want to shout out the guys in Trawl and the Trawl cast, Sean and Seth. We've heard from both of them this week. Really excited to talk to those guys maybe down the line too. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for the support. Nate, you got some news, some concert news?
Well, before that, Nate, before you get into that, this episode is brought to you by Ticketmaster. Just kidding. It's definitely not brought to you by Ticketmaster.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I like that, though. We should be getting some kind of referral code, right? At the end of the day.
We really should, yeah.
We're selling out shows. Anyone that's listening literally has the inside scoop. This is like inside trading. Yeah, so to kind of continue the live music excitement that I've been kind of investigating, this one's a little bit more public. The Bonnaroo Music Festival, legendary. We've talked about it on here before. I went 4 years in a row. Haven't gone in, can't believe it. It's been 11 years since I've gone. The 2021 Bonnaroo lineup got announced. When was this? Like 2 days ago?
Yeah, yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, and it's not in June, which is crazy because it's always been in June ever since its inception. So yeah, it's been announced for September 2nd through the 5th, still in Manchester, Tennessee, which is on the farm, as they call it. It's land that the festival actually bought from the state of Tennessee, so they own the land outright. So that's why they're able to do like shows at 3 a.m. and keep it going, just because they own basically the land that it resides on. And the lineup's pretty good. I mean, it's all over the place. What do we got here? Foo Fighters, Megan Thee Stallion, Lizzo, Tame Impala, Incubus, Deftones, Primus. You got stuff in there that like Bonnaroo will do. You got Nelly in there. Disco
Run the
Biscuits.
Jewels.
Run the Jewels. You guys gonna go?
I'd love to. Worst possible time of year for my job, but I'd love to.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, I probably won't be at this one. But it just shows you the state of music. Like for rock bands, you have Foo Fighters, you get Deftones, like you said, Incubus, My Morning Jacket, but it's a lot of hip-hop, right? Hip-hop and rap.
It's a good mix. I think it's a good mix.
I mean, look at the line. We always like dissecting flyers and stuff, but Deftones is on the same level as Jack Harlow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
He's popping now, and that's what you're gonna get.
What's popping?
What's popping? No pun, yes pun intended.
Yeah, no, you're right. Good call. Actually, the year that I stopped going, 2011 onward, I guess it's been that long. Or so I guess it's been 10 years I haven't gone. It started to lean pretty heavy in the hip hop world, and I love hip hop, but there was a scene there for a while in rap and hip hop that wasn't really something I was aspiring to that much, so I just stopped going. So it's gone in that direction for quite a while, and the EDM thing that was big for a while was kind of taking over the whole Bonnaroo festival lineup. And it's interesting. I mean, when it started, it was a hippie fest, right? And then it turned into more of a mainstream festival, but still had those iconic kind of legacy acts like Fish has been a Bonnaroo staple forever. Just kind of some classic rock acts kind of mixed in
Petty,
there.
right? We talked about Petty.
Yep, Petty, Radiohead, stuff like that. So yeah, looking at this lineup, it's like very much so like, man, I guess I got old because I know a lot of these bands, but to see like even Lana Del Rey like headline coach Bonnaroo is surprising because she would normally be like kind of in the smaller print. I guess she's bigger now. I don't know.
She just put a record out too, I think, and that's part of it. But yeah, looking at this lineup, there's somebody that I would want to see every day. I mean, the big day for me would be Friday. Foo Fighters, Run the Jewels, Deftones, Megan Thee Stallion would actually probably be fun. I like Jack Harlow. The Dashboard's there that day too. Like there's Nelly would be fun to see. Primus, like that's a big day for me as a fan if I'm looking at it. But I mean, even Saturday, I would love to see Jason Isbell and Phoebe Bridgers are both there. Incubus is there. I've seen them, but I'd see them again, obviously. And then Sunday too. Julian Baker's on Sunday.
Goose.
Yeah, Goose. Yeah, Nate King. Shout out Nate King. Yeah, Julian Baker on Sunday. There's a few other bands there too. So it's I've never been to it. I'm pissed I didn't go back in the day when you guys tried to talk me into it, Nate. And I at my age now, I'm like, damn, I should get to one of these just to do it. But if this was a better time of year for me, I'd definitely consider it. Where it's as busy as I can be is that weekend. That's when all of my stuff kind of kicks into high gear for my job. It's just no. There's just no way. I'd love to, but there's no way.
One thing I'm not sure where I either heard this or read this, but there's a level of VIP tickets that you can get that includes like getting golf carted from point to point on the campus or whatever. Is that a thing?
Is that the platinum level?
Is it? I think it was an old coworker that was like, yeah, we splurged for the golf cart tier where they like basically bus you from stage to stage, like on the side.
Yes, it is the platinum. Do you want to know what that costs for 4 days?
I'd love to know.
Take a guess.
4 days, $3,000.
$32.75.
Wow. Whew.
You can go layaway for $100 right now.
Crazy. It's interesting that you bring that up, Twan, because I remember when I first started going to these festivals, 07-ish, at least this type of festival, those types of packages didn't exist. It was just line priced, one ticket price. Everyone's got the same treatment. You bring a car, you have your car camping, and that's all there is to it. And as it escalated and as it got bigger, these types of arrangements started to pile onto both Bonnaroo and Coachella initially. And then now every festival has some kind of like luxury glamping tier.
Firefest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best example of it. Yeah. So for better or for worse, I mean, everyone's got money to spend on different levels. I kind of like the basic level in a lot of ways. We are older now, like you said. Like, I kind of want to go to this, but maybe I would splurge for something a little bit extra. Because I mean, Tennessee, Manchester, it gets super hot, but I usually go in June, so September, it's probably still pretty arid. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll be the older guy that splurges because I'm a geezer.
If you want to do just the 4-day VIP, Nate, you can get exclusive VIP Campground Plaza featuring full service bar, air conditioning, Wi-Fi, daily yoga classes. So that's only $1,000
for 4 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? $1,050 for 4 days, and you get access to AC if you need it. I mean, that time of year, it's going to be hot in Tennessee. It's going to be hot here in Maine, so it'll be muggy, it'll be warm, it'll be similar to how it is in June, I bet.
Well, here's the fine print though, and because I've looked at these luxury upgrades quite a bit,
yeah,
and just because it says you have access to the bar doesn't mean it's open bar. So it's just access to a bar. But Bonnaroo, like you bring your own alcohol.
No, it's full service. Yeah, it's full you just have to pay for it, but you have access to it.
I know, but that's the whole thing of Bonnaroo is you bring your own case of, Coors Light or whatever. Go cheap. It's supposed to be like a camping fest, not like an $18 beer.
I'm with you there. And the thing that would get me is the air conditioning. I'd be happy to do that, I think. Yeah.
And we got to figure that $1,000 for 4 days, that technically includes your lodging, right? You bring a tent.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's not bad if you spin it. You know what I mean? It's a vacation with awesome music. That's worth it.
Yeah, a ton of good music. Yeah, if I had the money, I mean, 3,300 is the way to go. But 1,000, I could totally talk myself into 1,000 for 4 days with that lineup and the couple extra perks you might get. Yeah, that sounds like something that would be in my ballpark.
Are you guys breaking the pact right now by not going to this with me?
What pact?
This is part of the Deftones 2021 road trip. It's officially on now.
I mean, that time, yes. If Dia de los Deftones happens in late November?
Early November.
Early November? Yeah, there's a very good chance I'm at that. But this, I don't know. I don't know if I can pull it off.
You just said that on air, so
I'm glad you brought that up because it shows you the kind of change of the guard that I was talking about. Is Meg the Stallion was on Dia de los Deftones a couple of years ago.
Say that 10 times fast.
It was her and Hum and a bunch of others, and now she's headlining Bonnaroo with the Foo Fighters.
Exactly.
Crazy.
I know. That's what I was saying with like Lana Del Rey. It's like, wow, she's a headliner now. Like, interesting. I guess we're that much older now. Where like we saw them when they were playing theaters and stuff, and now they're a headliner at Bonnaroo. I keep saying Coachella because I'm so used to Coachella out here now, but yeah, I think I'd like to make this happen just to kind of be on the farm one last time. Plus it says celebrating 20 years of magic on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Next to all the sponsors: Virgin, Toyota, PayPal, Bacardi, Corona.
Yeah, nice farm. Nice farm you got there. Coca-Cola.
Pepsi.
Yeah, Mountain Dew. Diet Dew? Anybody? Yeah, maybe.
Pure Pepsi.
Doritos.
Yeah, so
Doritos 3D.
Fritos, bro.
We're coming off the rails early, guys.
That didn't take long, did it? So yeah, this would be a fun thing to do. If the world changes a little bit, and if this happens in September, I mean, we're all the way back, right? There's no way that this can happen if we're not all the way back.
Right, I agree. Although it is outside, I mean that helps the cause.
Yeah, there's that. Plus, it's in Manchester, Tennessee, so it's not necessarily like a primary market. It's not like Los Angeles or New York City. It's like literally Manchester, Tennessee. Just for the record, like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the city like the town thrives off of the traffic, but it's not engineered to handle the traffic. So like you're in line to get into the festival, and like there's like a random liquor store, and then nothing for a while, and then a random gas station, and then nothing for a while. Like it's a ghost town. So
we were talking before. There's a band that is conspicuously absent from this that may be touring starting in June that we talked about last week. Nate, who is that?
Yeah. Rage Against the Machine is not on this festival lineup, although they are on the Firefly Music Festival that also got announced around the same time a few days ago, which takes place in Maryland, and they are on that lineup. So yeah, if anyone listened to the episode last week, I feel like this might legitimize their upcoming tour that kicks off early June. So insight.
And I know Tyler the Creator and Lana Del Rey have their fan bases, but wouldn't it make sense if Rage just kind of showed up and closed out Sunday?
Oh man.
So Nate, if you're there, you got to get all the content. Try to interview them.
Yep. Videos.
In the name of the pod, baby.
Pictures of the full service bar that you still have to pay at.
Yeah, that I kind of sneak my way back there. Well, now I have an excuse to go to this. Before Patio Slave, it was like, it's a stretch. I'm 36 now. Like, But now I'm like, well, for the Patio Slave, like, if I don't go to this, it's a disservice to us and the listeners.
Do it.
I'll check it out.
Let's do this.
All right, you guys pay. I'm down.
We'll start a GoFundMe through the pod.
Perfect. I'll sell some nerdery.
Yeah, I'll post some of your nerdery. When Nate's nerdery, actually pay for Nate's nerdery so we can go to Bonnaroo.
Yeah, pay more than it's worth on eBay so I can have fun. Pay for my fun.
Twan, you got a fun little different segment for us here, don't you?
I do, yeah. So we're all music nerds. We follow a lot of news sites, Absolute Punk, Loudwire, Consequence of Sound, Lamb Goat, all that stuff. We follow those. We keep a pulse on what's going on. But we also love the sites like The Onion and Hard Times. So if you're not familiar with Hard Times, it's basically the music version of The Onion. So it's satirical headlines that, they kind of blur the line of this could be real versus this is obviously satire. So what I was thinking, and actually I kind of thought of this back when we had our 44 guest on, Toby McAllister. He had that pop punk rocker looking for long lost guitar he sold at Portland Denny's for cigarettes. That's an actual article headline. It read like a Hard Times article. So it got me thinking, the wheels spinning, and I saw a headline, I don't know, last night or a couple days ago that blurred that same line, and I was like, all right, we're going to have some fun with this. So what I did is I picked about a dozen headlines that I have not told Nate or Tony about, and they're going to have to guess, is this a Hard Times headline, or is this an actual music headline from a music publication?
I like it. I'm in.
I'm down. Yeah.
You guys are ready for this? All right,
I can't wait.
All right. So that first one, pop punk rocker looking for long lost guitar. He sold at Portland Denny's parking lot for cigarettes. It's obvious that's real.
That one's real. That's real.
So we know that one. All right. The first one. Folk punk band asks neighbor banging broom on ceiling to join group.
Kind of like the Lumineers.
I'm going to go false on that one. Yeah.
I think this is true. I think it's true.
That is a Hard Times headline.
You got me.
That is fake.
That one feels like it could be real, though.
Right. Oh, totally. Absolutely. All right. Next one. Axl Rose arrives hours late to home live stream concert.
Nate, what do you think?
I think it's false, but I think it's very viable if they were to, do that kind of engagement. So it's basically true.
Yeah, I'm with Nate. This is false, but it definitely could happen.
You are both correct. That is a Hard Times headline. That's a hard times headline.
So that's funny because Nate, remember when we had tickets to see Guns N' Roses in Portland, and then we were at dinner and we just heard that it was off because Axel couldn't drink on stage, and he was like, "Sorry, we're not going to play."
Oh my god,
That is a true story.
That is a real headline.
that is
happened.
a true story.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a true story. 30 minutes before the show started too, so it was like last minute.
yeah. We were out getting dinner, getting ready to go to the see Guns N' Roses in Portland at the Civic Center, and we got word because we had connections with friends at the radio stations, and they were like, "Yeah, nope, Axel can't drink on stage, so he says that we're not going to play."
Wow,
It's crazy.
You make. I mean, they actually obviously traveled there too, right? They.
Oh yeah.
What a joke.
Yeah.
All right, the next one. Saliva re-record every 6 seconds with current vocalist for 20th anniversary CD.
True. I think that's true.
I was gonna go true as well on that one. Yeah.
That is an actual headline. That is
Nice.
a true headline. That is from
Saliva.
Loudwire.
So they just had the 20th anniversary on that, didn't they? I think our friends at the New Metal Reddit did a either an AMA or something with somebody from the band this past weekend, and yeah, I didn't realize Josie Scott's not with them anymore.
Right? Yeah. That's a good point.
How do you re-record those classic songs like Click Click Boom?
Yeah. And Josie Scott why is Josie Scott like more of a name brand than Saliva? You know, it's always
Great
weird.
question.
I think it's the Hero song with Kroger.
Yeah.
Chad
With Kroger.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it's a Spider-Man soundtrack song. That's a great song. I don't care what anybody says. I love that song.
Yeah. No, I like it. I'm ashamed to say.
I'm not. I'm wearing it on my sleeve.
All right, next one. Allison Chain's cat goes viral.
I don't know what that means. Allison Chain's cat?
False. That's false.
Yeah, I don't know. False.
That is an actual headline.
What happened?
I have no idea. It's from Loudwire. Allison Chain's cat goes viral.
It was so broad. I was like, is this a trick question? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, right.
All right, next one. Lemmy Kilmister's ashes were put into bullets and sent to his closest friends.
That is fake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fake on that one too.
And that is an actual headline.
No way.
From
That's
Loudwire.
awesome. Should have known better, Lemmy. We've got some cool Lemmy stories in our back catalog if you guys want to hear them. I think Ian Robinson had one, and I think Greg from Zebrahead on our first episode with him had one. So episodes 9 and 27, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Confirmed. I have no idea. I trust you.
Plus, internally for nerd purposes, I sent you guys that picture of me at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in West Hollywood.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep. Cheersing to, like, I guess he was there every day just pounding Jack Daniels. So if you want to meet Lemmy, you just go to Rainbow Bar and Grill in West Hollywood back in the day before he passed away.
Did you get it? Did you get a bullet, Nate? That's the question. Did he give you a bullet?
I didn't get a bullet. You know who did is Bonnaroo headliner Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl is good friends with that guy.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Jack White files tax return on vinyl.
We talked about Jack White last week, and this is something he would do, but I think it's fake.
That's fake, but that's the coolest thing ever.
That is a Hard Times headline. You guys are correct on that one.
He would do that, though. He absolutely would do that.
He might have tried. There might be some, yeah, might be
There's some
valid.
truth to that one. Yeah.
It's just illegal, so he couldn't actually succeed. Yeah.
This isn't a 1099. What are you doing?
Yeah. This doesn't insert into
whatever, yeah.
the computer doesn't read these grooves.
The hidden song is his like off book earnings.
All right, next one. Papa Roach's next album will feature their first acoustic ballad.
Part of
I'm
me
gonna
thinks
go
this
true
is
on that
true.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
It is true. It is true.
Whoa.
They haven't done this already?
right.
That's the question.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pandemic stuff. They're like, we could try this. Let's just try this. Fuck it.
I love it.
Got a few more here. Opening band covers headliner's entire set.
I think that's false, but I love the idea.
I'm going to go false. Yeah.
That is a Hard Times fake headline.
So this reminds me of when we've talked about this on the pod before, when Nate and I saw Beck. Tom, were you at that show at the State Theater? Nate and I saw Beck with Rob, our episode 17 guest, at the State Theater, and Beck, he played an acoustic set and opened for himself. So he would have done this, would have played the opener's set or the headliner's set because it was his music.
So if I said Beck covers entire headliner's entire set, you would have guessed true.
I would have said that actually happened. Although it could also be a hard times. I mean, that would have been perfect. Talk about blurring lines. I've seen it.
I got a story like that too, actually. Rewinding back to the Foo Fighters Hangout Festival in Alabama. Gnarls Barkley, his tour bus broke down or something, so he couldn't make it to the stage. So Foo Fighters was a headliner, but because Gnarls Barkley didn't make it, Foo Fighters replaced their set and they started playing some of their songs, and they ended up playing a bunch of cover songs, but they didn't play any Foo Fighters songs. They just played Gnarls Barkley songs, and then they started playing like random classic rock songs. So I actually did semi-see something like that happen, which is, it was crazy. Like they just came out of nowhere. Is that
how the Darling Nikki cover happened?
I think so, because they actually played that in that set. Yeah. Hangout Festival 2011. You guys can look it up.
Tangent on the tangent. Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters have covered Darling Nikki by Prince. So has Atmosphere, which is kind of fun. So go check those.
Oh, nice.
Is that a Hard Times headline?
It's Darling Lucy, I think, for Atmosphere, but very similar.
All right, just got a few more here. Spotify CEO gets 0.0005% custody of children.
Loud and clear. I think it's 0.003 or whatever, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? He's getting extra.
No kidding.
That's fake.
That's fake, but that's amazing. That's
perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a perfect headline.
Yeah, that was an obvious Hard Times headline, but it was too good not to.
Yeah.
Not to do. The next one here: Travis Barker's daughter covers his face tattoos with makeup.
I think that's true.
Yeah, I can go true on that one. I think
that's a real headline from Loudwire.
Wow.
I didn't know he had face tattoo. I guess I probably did, but didn't think about it.
Yeah, he's like covered head to toe pretty much now.
Couple more here. Kenny Wayne Shepherd Blues Award nomination revoked for use of Confederate flag.
I actually know the answer to this, so Nate, go ahead.
I'm going to go false.
That is true.
That is true. That happened.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, a couple days ago, last week maybe.
Damn, that sucks. I didn't know that. And actually, I've seen him a few times and like his music, but that's not cool.
Yeah. We won't get too political. We'll leave it there.
Yeah. Move on. Carry on.
That was good. Is that all you have to?
I get two more quick hitters
here.
Ooh,
nice.
Sweet.
Greta Van Fleet's new song is their most epic yet.
That's true, and it should say Greta Van Fleet's new cover of Led Zeppelin is their most epic yet. But yeah. That's true.
Is the most epic Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah.
That is true, and we're going to close it out with this one. The Strokes frontman dismisses blues rock. Please, no more, he says.
Julian Casablancas, right? One. That's true, yeah.
That is true. So you guys are very good. I mean, you probably read enough Hard Times articles to know where the lines blurred, but I think I tripped you up on the Papa Roach one, right? Maybe? Or the Lemmy one.
There's a couple back
one.
there, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Lemmy.
No, that's cool. I wish I got one of those. That's badass.
The bullet.
No, I want a bullet. Yeah, I think even if we haven't read them, we're just like we got the nerd Spidey sense going on.
Yeah, exactly. That was fun. I can't wait to do that again, actually, because it like triggers stories. It triggers all this stuff. So I enjoyed that. Good call, Twan.
Things are just so ridiculous that like they're so probable, like some of those headlines will actually become true, unfortunately. So
Axl Rose.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got going on here for our main segment? Tone, you want to introduce it?
Yeah, main segment. We've been talking a lot the last couple of weeks. We did side projects a couple of weeks ago. We did band members or people who may have left one project to start their own career. And then we were like, you know what? Everybody nowadays has to have their hands in more than one thing, right? So we wanted to look at a couple of musicians a piece that have their hands in a different space, that are we know them from music, but they've tried their hands at other things and have been, either successful at it or we, heard about it through the news or whatever. So musicians in different spaces is what we have it. That's kind of the tentative title. I don't know if we'll come up with something cooler than that. We may right now, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
One thing I was thinking about when I was kind of researching a few of these names is it made me think that if you take the music out of it, would they have gone down that path anyway? Or did music open that door? Like, there's so much speculation we can riff off this, and there's some people that have their hands in multiple things, which, at least for one of mine, or actually both of mine, it kind of fits. So who wants to start it?
I'll go first. So I wrote a bunch down just to like kind of jog my memory and get me going. And I don't want to. I mean, there are a lot of musicians who have been actors as well. I mean, there's a lot of that, right? If you go back and look, cameos or full on moving into acting, I want to kind of stay away from that. So I'm going to do something a little different. And I've mentioned this band in the past. It was a while back now. It was last summer, I believe. And they're a band that I ride for pretty heavy. And they haven't put anything out in a couple of years. Their frontman is big into another medium. And he's not a creator per se, but he is part of competition. They're kind of an emo-ish band. I would call them that. Put out 3 records. I love all 3 of them, but they've definitely grown as a band. As through their discography, they sound different from front to back. They're local. They're from Massachusetts. Twan, you might know who I'm talking about. Nate, do you?
From Massachusetts?
Yeah, Worcester area, I think.
Is it Reveille? No.
Nope.
I'm not sure.
Reveille's not emo, bro.
Oh, true. I know, but you said Worcester. I think they're from Worcester. But shit, I don't know.
Twan's got it, I bet.
Hotelier?
Yeah, the Hotelier. Their frontman's a poker player.
Oh, wow.
A very good poker player. Christian Holden. Yeah. He actually, it's funny, I was looking for things to put together for this today, and he tweeted something out about a poker game he's a part of for charity either tomorrow or the next day. When you hear this, it's already happened. And with band members from all over the map for charity. I think a member from Citizen, a few others too. So kind of cool situation. But yeah, he's big into the poker world. So, somebody who's done critically acclaimed things in the music business, moving into a different medium like poker, which isn't necessarily what you would think for a lot of these musicians, right? That's kind of out of left field.
I assume actually, how old do you think he is?
He's probably our age.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of confirmed, if he is our age, it kind of confirms my thought process of he probably got into it from online or playing with his buddies.
Yep.
But I don't even know if you can still play online poker, but that's something that lends itself to, if you have like a Wi-Fi hotspot, you could play poker on the van while you're on tour.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Little side hustle, But that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I don't know. People that are good at poker, it's a unique brain that there must be some overlap with being a musician too, just the way the brain works. Because there's intelligent people that suck at poker. You know what I mean? It's a different type of thought process and pattern recognition and calculating odds in real time. But I don't know of any other musicians that are poker players now that I think about it.
Big ones, yeah, me either, especially in that space where maybe you'd think of being professional, which I think he is like on the verge of, if not is.
There's a few I can think of off the bat, to be honest, for professional poker players. Musician Scott Stapp from Creed.
Is he really?
Yeah. In fact, anyone that's listening, pull up YouTube Scott Stapp poker, and there's a pretty rough video of him shit-faced.
Oh, God.
It was like on TV and everything. Yeah. So him, Solly Erna from Godsmack is a professional poker player. M Shadows from the Avenged Sevenfold is a professional poker player. A bunch. But I mean, I was thinking, like, when you were saying that, like, if I was a musician and I had essentially, and I'm saying, like, if you're successful, have disposable income to play poker and get better, and obviously there's a return on investment playing poker if you're that good and you have extra money to do it. It's a great hobby. It's like you have this money almost dedicated to it. It's like you can kind of return your money and have fun at the same time. Like you said, Twan, play on the bus. The tour rolls through Las Vegas or Atlantic City. You can actually play for real. So it's not a bad play.
Yeah, he's made some money on different tours. I don't know how well he's done as far as that goes. I know there was a big craze for that, obviously on TV when Moneymaker won the World Series of Poker back in the day, probably 12 years ago, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
I think we might have been in college.
But yeah, 15 probably.
And and like we all were like, let's play Hold'em, let's go win money, let's like get in every tournament. And if that's why I think he's probably similar age, because it is fun to play. I mean, you and I played a ton back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's, if I were good enough at it to make money at it, I'd love to do that for a little while.
Hell yeah. The other person who's not a musician, but he has a music podcast is Adam 22 of the No Jumper podcast. He's big into poker. I think he's maybe fringe professional, but I follow him online and he's always posting about being in online tournaments and stuff like that.
Wow. Very clairvoyant, because my buddies here in Encinitas, we're starting our first poker Sundays this coming Sunday. So
nice.
Invite is it Christian you said?
Yeah, I think he's in Mass still though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Invite him cross
virtually.
Cross country.
Virtually.
Little road trip.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of like another hard times meme. We're actually all going to throw in our stimulus check.
Wow.
Go all in.
Good for you guys. I can't talk. I'm spending mine on something frivolous as well. So
Bonnaroo, perhaps.
Yeah, that, you know what though? If that was the case, yeah, if I could pull that off, going back to the Bonnaroo talk, I mean we've got Papa Joe just gave us the money for it. So
Papa Joe.
All right, who's next?
All right, why don't I go in case Nate has this one?
I like
Okay,
it.
perfect.
All right, frontman, 90s OG band. They've come up on this pod a few times. Never really in depth, but they're our episode 29 guest's favorite band growing up.
Oh, I know.
You want to say it?
Do you know, Nate?
I don't know who 29. Who was 29?
Suppose. I love your attention to detail. It is the Smashing Pumpkins. It's Billy Corgan.
Oh, nice.
It's Billy Corgan. And do you know what his kind of other space is in this regard? It's very unique.
I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't know.
I do know this one, I think.
Nice.
Is it a tea company?
No. Well,
okay.
I'm not going to say no because it could be it, but this is not like he's got music, which is 1A, and then this is 1B.
Okay. Wearing shirts that don't fit him.
That's amazing.
Looking like Gerard Way.
Billy, we love you. Yeah, right. Gerard Way, he's Gerard Way's dad. Billy, we love you. He actually hit us up on socials a couple months back. We love you. I'm a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
This one, if you don't know it, which it sounds like you don't, it's really going to surprise you because it surprised me. And I was like, really? Holy crap. I'm shocked I didn't know about it. And here's what it is. He's big into wrestling. And I'll show you how far it goes. You ready for this? He co-founded Resistance Pro Wrestling in 2011. Later on in 2015, he was named Senior Producer of Creative and Talent Development at TNA Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. So he developed characters and storylines there. And then the next year, he became president of TNA Wrestling. And then a year later, he left in 2017 and purchased his own wrestling organization, the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance.
Wow.
So he is all in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's a Hard Times headline.
Right?
Yeah.
Billy Corgan's Wrestling League.
Bilko Alliance.
Bilko. That is wild. And, it's funny now that you say it. I know I've read some tweets here and there from either him or somebody in that camp related to this early on in the pod's life, our pod's life.
Interesting, yeah.
When I was paying attention to that stuff a little more frequently, and I didn't think anything of it, and obviously it didn't register because I didn't remember it. So, but that's crazy. Like it's still a creative brain, right? You're writing storylines for wrestlers. You're, maybe writing different interactions, stuff like that. That kind of fits what he is as a creative, I would imagine, but it's completely different than, writing 0.
Yeah, exactly. I think what's interesting about it is you wouldn't expect it. Like you said, it is kind of a hard times article type flavor, but it definitely it most likely draws back to his youth and to things that he was like really into. And now he can kind of expand on that now that he's successful and can use his, presence to dive into that a little bit deeper. So, I mean, that's interesting. We all have our little, things that we enjoy. So I guess wrestling is that for him. But the tea thing, I think also, like I mentioned, like he had like a tea house or something. So I thought it was that. So, but wrestling, I would have never guessed that. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, the other kind of bit of nerdery about him, which I probably wouldn't have thought of, is he's a big sports fanatic. He loves all the Chicago teams, so like the Blackhawks, Cubs, and Bulls. He's personal friends with Dennis Rodman. He's thrown out the first pitch at Cubs games. He's sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at the Cubs. I mean, can you imagine that in his?
I mean, that'd be wild if I was there because I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I would imagine some people are like, "Who is this?" and who killed the rat? You know what I mean? But I that's neither here nor there. Like anytime I play Smashing Pumpkins, my wife is like, I can't handle his voice. I'm like, that's part of its charm. That's part of the band's charm is that he sounds like this and it works. Like you don't get it. I'm sorry, you don't get it. It's a wonder I married her. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's an interesting, different path wrestling. That's kind of crazy to me. I did not think of that.
Yeah, and you're right and wrong, Tone, I think, because for some reason I just cringe a little bit from him singing "Take Me Home to the Ball Game." It just that voice with that, like, yeah, that's a tough thing.
Yeah. That being said, I wish I was there.
You're right, Tone, in that I mean, you got to think with Smashing Pumpkins, like he is storytelling. I mean, I don't know how involved he was in that Tonight video, but that's like an epic production. Like it's a great visual. There's kind of a storyline to it, so I assume he had a hand in it.
Knowing him, it was all him. Like not knowing him, but like reading what I've read about him over the years, I bet you that was all his idea.
Yep.
Yeah, notorious for the control freak thing for sure.
So yeah, Bilko in wrestling. Go figure.
I like it. It's funny because he's kind of a heel sometimes too, so this is kind of perfect for him.
Right.
All right, Nate.
You gonna drag this out?
Yeah.
Nate?
Oh yeah, 90s OG.
I wouldn't have guessed that one with Billy Corgan. This one may be somewhat obvious because, well, it's a house band. It's a house band. What do you guys think?
Rage Tool, Foo Fighters, Deftones.
Yeah, is it Maynard? Oh, it's Deftones. Okay.
Deftones. Yeah, being here in San Diego, Belching Beaver Brewery. Shout out to them. Great people, great beer. They've been doing a collab with the band The Deftones for quite a while now. I've been here since 2013. I think they launched their first collab in, don't quote me on it, I want to say 2017 or so. And they just kept going. I think everyone thought as a fan it was a one-off, and they just keep putting out beers. And they even have the staple Phantom Bride IPA that is in every retailer.
So good.
It's really good. It's in every retailer I see out here. Hopefully it gets distributed out east for you guys. Nice. Tone's holding up what is that?
The White Pony one. The White Pony one that you brought back last summer. Go back and listen to Nerdery Grab Bag, the episode where we were all together. The only episode we've ever done in the same room.
More of that to come as things are opening up, hopefully. Yeah, that was a White Pony release. I believe that's an IPA too. So mostly IPAs, but they've done a lager, they've done a stout, they've done a pale ale is the newest one, which is the Ohms Ale. And I collect them all. I mean, so I think for a fan, like the interesting thing about this is like all Deftones fans are going to buy this product if they like beer. And some people might even buy it just to put it on their mantle or whatever. And it's like perfect bi-directional joint venture because this product sells out everywhere it lands. So you already know as a brewery that you're going to pump this out and it's going to sell, which is great for your business forecasting. And then for the band, when they tour, they plan their tours in collaboration with a lot of these beers coming out. So they'll pump this on their socials. So they're not only making money on the front end with their concerts, but a lot of the times this beer is being served at the shows. So they're actually getting the concessions too now, which is a huge gain. I don't think people are fully understanding how big of a gain this really is. And they were ahead of the curve because many bands have jumped on this bandwagon since. Kings of Leon has one called Neon Leon, which is a lager that you can, I think, only get in Tennessee. I mean, I collect this stuff mainly for
Not
the
the
packaging.
UK.
Yeah.
No, they're not in the UK.
But the band beer collabs is like, you know,
It's
it goes
huge.
hand in hand, right? And we always talk about nerdery and boozery and those things meeting in the middle. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand regardless. So, but Deftones, I mean, everyone thought it was a limited thing and they just keep going. And I think the coolest part about it is it's not just a licensee deal. The band, especially Chino, chooses the hops. He's part of the R&D process, research and development process to make sure that it's up to what he thinks is good IPA and the brewery, and they kind of go back and forth and they finally come up with a final product and go to release. And it's sweet because I initially thought this was just going to be a one-off, and they've put out like 7 beers and now a tequila. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I think one thing that helps it, and I've had 3 of them now. I think I've had the White Pony one, I've had Phantom Bride, and you either brought another one back or sent another one back. I can't remember. You
A stout.
allegedly mailed one.
Yep.
Allegedly. But what
No
helps
alcohol.
it is that it's really good, because a lot of these like collabs and things bands stick their name on, it's just like private label junk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like, maybe I'm falling for it, but it was one of the better beers I've ever had. Like, it was that good. And obviously the visuals, the Frankmatics visuals help it, but that helps. If the product sucked, I mean, it'd just be a collector's item, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I have a few that are collector's items that weren't good beer wise, but it's cool because, you know, band X did collaboration with Brewery Y, and that's fun. Because I mean, we're all mid-30s. We like our beers. We all live on the coast. There's good beers. Pretty much, you turn left, you turn right. There's good beers for where we are. So, to be doing this the way the Deftones are doing it, where it's not just a one-off, it's not just here's Phantom Bride and we'll see you guys later. We'll just make this here and there, you know, a couple times a year just to satisfy a fan base or a contract or whatever. No, this is a little more than that, which is, for me, I love it, being a fan of the band and a fan of the brewery, because the brewery makes good beers, and then put the two together and like awesome can art. And I mean, we'll put a picture up of the Deftones if you haven't seen it, of the White Pony can, among others. It's cool. It lands in so many different ways if you're a fan, which is why what you would do it for, right?
Yeah. And you both bring up great points, which is the attention to detail on, okay, if we're going to do this, like, let's actually be part of the process and not just have it be a licensee. So I've purchased those products, like you said, Tone. I bought the Rolling Stones Crystal Skull Vodka collab just for the product. I obviously drank the product, but I essentially bought it for the fact that it's a one-off Rolling Stones collaboration. Countless other music collaborations. We always talk about it through our group text on music, alcohol collaborations, and I literally just buy it for the package. Sometimes I don't even open it, but I know from talking to the guys at Belching Beaver that, like, it's very, very much so a collaborative process. So it's not just a, hey, put our name on it, let's sell some units and awesome, more money for everyone. It's really like, no, like, this one was good, but I liked sample 3 better. Oh, it's because it's got the Simcoe hops and the Citra hops. Like, maybe that's what you like. He's like, yeah, I think I gravitate towards that. So it's a true collaboration, and that transcends to the end consumer. And, I'm in the beer business, so I know now more than ever that quality ingredients and attention to detail and whatever trends are happening at the time. Hazies were big at one time. Pales are back.
Oh, hazies are still big, my friend.
I know, but we're out west over here, so.
Yeah, sorry. We're not a West Coast IPA.
Different game, yeah. So yeah, there's all those dynamics as well, and low alcohol, low cal. I mean, obviously, I do the no alc beers at my company and stuff. So, all of that stuff is forecasting to make a good product and not just sell a product for the name. So it's unique, and people know it, and all the fans know it, and it's a detailed process that works all around. And something I thought of when I pulled this one up for today is it's really kind of a long play too, because Belching Beaver is still a private company, and I've been in the beer industry for quite a while now, since 2013, at least on the supplier side. And that was when, I think 2015 is when craft breweries started selling to macros. So I was at St. Archer and we sold to Miller Coors.
Yep.
And that crescendo has continued. Belching Beaver is still private. So this may be like a very good long play for the band. Whereas
It's a great point.
they have such a play on selling units that if Belching Beaver gets acquired by Miller Coors or AB InBev, they get a huge cash grab that surpasses anything they could make in the music industry, given our conversations on their contractual obligations to their record contract with Maverick. Like they're getting pennies on the dollar where they're a JV with Belching Beaver, let's say 50-50 split. That's their retirement, hands down. So,
well, not to mention, even if you're not bought up by one of those big, Miller Coors or AB InBev, the access before the pandemic, the access to those beers was becoming more and more readily available to your fans across the country. Like we were getting Stone stuff in Maine years ago, and Stone is in Southern California, San Diego as well, right?
Yep.
And then we were getting that stuff. We were getting Green Flash, which is from Cali, I think, back in the day.
San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, so those things were coming east, and our stuff is going west. And I know, Nate, we have some big time breweries out here in Portland, Maine. Allagash is one, Bissell Brothers is another. Those make their way out west too. So the fact that the supply chains were open for stuff like this means you don't necessarily need to go big business, and you can be making that money yourself and not worrying about the big guy. It goes back to the do you want to be in Walmart or do you not type of analogy that we've mentioned numerous times on this. But if you can work for yourself and it's profitable and you're making a good product and you're not worried about it getting maybe too big, this is the way to go.
Yeah, the obviously it's a quality product. The few that I've had, but the other thing is it transcends the band. So like if you're a fan of the band, you're obviously going to be drawn to the visuals and whatnot. But if you don't even know of the band, it's not like Deftones is in your face on the label. It's tastefully done, and it's like the artwork is stunning. And I think it's a perfect blend of really not catering to anyone. You know what I mean? Blending both, whether you're a fan or not.
Great point. No, fantastic point. Because a lot of these accounts that I work with, they're big chains. They're AVP. Albertsons, Vaughn's, Pavilions, big time, Walmarts of the world, Targets. So I always wonder, like, I'm going in there, seeing these things as a nerd on the music level, but I'm also in the alcohol industry for quite a long time. So I'm kind of working two different angles of it. I see it as, oh, that's awesome. Deftones are putting on a craft beer. That's excellent. But I wonder how many traditional end consumers are walking by that, like, I'll try this Deftones IPA. I don't know.
Phantom Bride. That's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll check it out. Yeah.
Oh, it was a horse. There's a pony. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Is it a Deftones song name or is it a beer name? Like that could totally. Exactly. That's the same situation. Like
no, and it goes even further. Kind of going back to the whole 360 on the tours. Like now they're promoting it on the tours. Like someone that bought that in the store is now seeing that name brand recognition for Deftones, and they see an ad in the paper or whatever online for a Deftones store rolling through San Diego, and they're like, "Wait, isn't that a beer? Oh, it's a show now. I'll check out the show. Fuck it." It's like that instant, like, kind of compounding effect of, I don't know what that is. I like the beer. I guess I'll check out the show. Fuck it. So they did it great.
We'll do a whole episode on boozery. It hasn't happened yet, but there's plenty to dissect here. I mean,
could go in the nerd weeds all day on this.
We could go on this for days.
Save it for the pod.
Yeah, exactly. So that we've circled that as a topic for down the road. It just hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, get super nerdy on that one for sure.
Yeah, Nate, you're an insider, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I got my second one. We'll each go around one more time, huh?
Around the horn.
All right, I'm gonna enlist you guys. I need your help. We're either gonna do somebody who was a pastor or somebody who was maybe a politician.
My vote is politician.
Nate?
I like politician. Yeah.
All right. So this gentleman was in a rap group in the mid 90s or so. Did a little solo stuff too. Has also acted a little bit, and has been kind of an activist too. Very well-known name, has produced for other artists too, has been on different songs in that vein too. But yeah, this, I don't want to give too much away, but was almost ran for president of his home nation. Any guesses?
I know who it is.
When you say it, I'm gonna be like, shit. How didn't I get that?
I mean, massive single album from the rap group, and then they disbanded, and all two of the three have gone on to do other things solo and been huge.
Oh, I think I know.
Okay, Nate, do you?
I can't think of his name, but he's from Haiti, right?
Yep.
Wyclef?
It's Wyclef. Yep.
Wyclef. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So Wyclef ran for, drew up the papers and ran for president of Haiti in 2010.
How did he do? Did he actually do it?
I don't think he won. Yeah, no, I don't think he did. I couldn't find any of the Haitian election results from 2010, but yeah, he did say he was going to run on CNN and then ran. He also has acted a little bit too on the outside, but yeah, Wyclef. Obviously Fugees we grew up with the Fugees. We Fuji La and Killing Me Softly and Ready or Not, and Lauryn Hill and Pras being in there too.
War in the Town, The Beast is Loose.
Oh my God, such a great record, right? Such a great record. And it's too bad we only got one proper Fugees album.
Yeah.
But Wyclef did his own thing too, and has been, in the forefront off and on since. We did some stuff with Shakira. Obviously, everybody knows Hips Don't Lie. And yeah, he ran for president of Haiti. He's a politician.
Laka.
Yeah.
What was the song he did in like late 2000s? I'm gonna tell you, like Wu told me, cash rules everything around me.
Around me, dollar bill.
Was it like
great song?
Good Girl or something? Used to be. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I think it was actually called Dollar Bill, maybe. Yeah, that was a great song.
Sweetest Girl, I think. Sweetest Girl, maybe.
Gone to November was big too. That was his first big solo song.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say it's funny. Like I didn't think of this, but I did somewhat know this because I remember seeing the headline where he was almost assassinated in Haiti. Right? Mm-hmm. Did you read that?
I think yeah. I think you're right.
So, yeah, I guess he didn't win if he was going to essentially had a target on his back.
I was gonna say something very similar, Nate. Where like now that we're bringing it up, similar to you, Tone, with Billy Corgan and wrestling. Like now that you say it, it's like it's coming back that there was some affiliation with politics with Wyclef.
He foiled an assassination plot in 2009 by a political group in Haiti before he ran. But yes, that good call, guys.
Oh, that's Nate. That's all Nate.
It's just like the hard times thing. It's like we're actually still kind of all have our finger on the pulse that like we kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like did I imagine that or did it actually happen? I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we have another Fugees record? Like, what the fuck?
I know, man. It's so weird. It's one of those things. Like I was listening to last week's episode, like Twan, like we just have so many questions and it's like, why? Like, why the fuck wouldn't that continue? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The score is one of the best albums from the 90s. And I feel like there was an album before then. Maybe it was not a full length, but there was, I think the score was definitely the last record. But damn, that's the thing now is like, if a new Fugees record came out, you'd obviously check it out, but like my hopes wouldn't be very high.
Yeah.
A new Fugees record in 2021.
I think mine would be because I think all three of them still have a great voice as far as what people might like. Lauryn Hill went on to do huge things by herself. Pras not so much, but I don't think that was for lack of him being, I just think he just kind of did his own thing and went off on his own and needed the other two to probably make his voice work the best. But Wyclef too, like everybody knows who Wyclef is.
Yeah. From
one big album and then a couple of songs. It's because they know what they're doing. They're good musically.
Is it the Carnival?
Yeah, he put out a couple carnivals.
And then Pras was on the Bulworth soundtrack with Ghetto Superstar with Maya.
Ghetto Superstar,
yeah.
Great song.
I'm gonna chalk it up to reunions that'll never happen. Mainly because it could have happened. I mean, Lauryn Hill came into some tax issues a few years ago where she was in some severe debt, and paying penalties on back taxes and all this stuff. Like that's the time when you get a reunion back together, right? Like out of necessity. So if it didn't happen then, I feel like whatever broke them up must be so severe that like it's not repairable. But who knows?
Two things. Twan, good call. Blunted on Reality came out before That came out in 1994 before the score.
Wow.
And then they put out a greatest hits in 03, which makes zero sense because you only had 2 albums and only anybody knows one of them.
I've never heard the first one at all.
Yeah, and me either. But you were right. There was one before it. And two, there was never a bunch of publicity about why they weren't a band anymore.
No.
So like, it wasn't like there was a nasty public breakup. Now maybe there was for them. There may have been some stuff behind the scenes, but there was never like these guys hate each other. That's why they're not back together. But there must have been something, right?
Yeah, something happened that we have no idea, but it's got to be pretty severe for. I mean, a band like an artist like that, a group like that, they must get so many offers every year. Like, hey, do you want to headline Glastonbury? Nope, we can't because I fucking hate Wyclef so much.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of that going on. Because you're right.
Yeah.
It would be a cash grab.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of money. Yep, Coachella, Bonnaroo, any of them, right? That's a good one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's solid, man.
All right, who's next? Twan?
Yep, so I got one here. He is I'm going to say 80s OG, maybe into the 70s. I think he started in the 70s. 80s OG. We just mentioned headlining. If Fugees got back together, they'd headline Coachella. Well, this guy's band headlined Ozfest at one point in time, and they may or may not have gotten in a feud with the Osbournes, this band that this guy fronts. Big feud with more Sharon than Ozzy, because Ozzy is kind of clueless. But this band was getting $200,000 a night playing Ozfest back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I got nothing, man.
I don't know why I can't put a finger on this one.
Huge metal band, Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson.
Oh, yep. Wow. Okay.
So Bruce Dickinson, obviously frontman of Iron Maiden, and I think I'd have to fact check it, but there was a time period where he wasn't, I think in the 90s. But anyway, so a few factoids about him, but one that stood out, talk about musicians in other spaces. He's a licensed pilot, and he's actually flown the group and the crew around on world tours. That's one thing, but that's not the thing that stood out even.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's insane.
He's a writer. I don't know what he's written in what capacity, but what really stood out is he was once a world-ranked fencer. You like fencing?
Jesus.
Wow.
He was once ranked seventh in the whole UK.
Wow.
So the reason I picked this one, it's like, if this dude never got into music, he'd have other angles. He'd have other paths, which, I mean, think about some of the big artists we like. Like, they've gotten into other things, as we've said with this episode, but in a lot of other areas, like, I don't know. I don't know what these people would be doing. And kind of, you'll appreciate this, Tone, to bring it to sports. I think it was a Kevin Garnett quote saying, if he was a foot shorter, he'd be a shoe salesman. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
It's just like if they didn't find their way with what they...
A very intense shoe salesman.
But, at least with this dude, like, he would be a pilot. He'd be probably a successful pilot.
Yeah, he would have had other things to do. Absolutely. He would have been a pilot, would have been a fencer. Because you can fence when you're short. Right. Probably harder to reach, quicker, mover, you know what I mean? Like,
just duck.
But there's just something about musicians that I feel like there's an extra compartment in their brain that's just open, where someone like me, it's just not open. I'm not a musician.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
I've tried to play bass guitar. It ain't happening. Tried to pick up a drum set. It ain't happening. And the thought of creating a song, it's one thing to even try to cover a song I can't do, but to write and create a song, it's not going to happen for me. So it makes me appreciate these dual and triple threats, which he is. And I think, Tony, on your list, you said you had a bunch. I'm sure a lot of those are triple threats.
Oh, totally. I mean, there are people on here. Like, I've stayed away from someone like Jay-Z, who's done a million things, or Travis Barker, who we actually just highlighted a couple weeks ago, who's into a bunch of stuff, just because we've talked about them and they're in the news. But there are so many people that it's not hard for them to be creatives in different aspects. And this is another one of those situations where probably the flight thing, not so much, but the fencing thing, you've got to be creative. You've got to think, this is going to come this way, I'm going to go that way, and kind of see things before they happen almost, which is just not something that I do in that realm very well. So it's I'm in the same boat as you. I am in awe of the people that can do that. Like, I see where these notes are going to go, so I'm going to make this song. I see where the words are going to go. I see where all of this is going to go. Same thing with my fencing, situation. I'm going to, this is how the plane's going to go, and I'm going to find a way to land it here and do this, and this is how all of it's going to happen. They see that stuff before it even happens, and I can't do that. So I'm in awe of that shit.
Yeah, good point. And good point to reference the differentiator of just slapping your name on anything, and the other side of it, which is someone that's pretty intellectual and has a brain that works in a dynamic way to apply that to other concentrations. So,
Right.
Flying a plane, I mean, I'm not going to lie, like, I know a lot of people, the pilots that I've talking to so that it's essentially it flies itself. Whatever, I feel like that's pretty modest, right? At the end of the day, like, it's pretty complicated, and you have to be trained. You have to have the balls to even do it. To fly the band around, I mean, fuck, man, that's a lot of pressure. What if you get in a fight with the drummer? Do you kamikaze it? Like,
I hope not.
I hope not, right?
Yeah, but you're right. Like, to have a brain that works in that way is applicable to many concentrations. And had it not worked out with the band, there's just so many things that take a brain that works in that way only. And if not, it just won't succeed. So you're right. But the other side of that is like, yeah, we can just slap our name on everything. Like we talked about Travis Barker, like, all the power to him. He can just put his name on anything and it'll sell multiple units, but it's not as genuine as being part of the process or the training that takes place to be a professional fencer. Number 7 in UK, you said, like, that's a huge accolade. Like that's years of training away from touring. So I mean, you're double dutying all day.
See, you think Travis is just slapping his name on stuff? I don't think that's happening.
I think that's the way I'm seeing it a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. I think I think he's more in tune to that than not. Genius is a word that is tough to throw around. I'm not going to say he's a genius, but if you listen to his drumming, the guy knows where things go, and I think sees the field before it comes to him, type of thing. So
you could be right.
That's my thought.
I think it's a hybrid of both. I think he's selective in what he accepts, but I don't think he's part of the curation for a lot of the stuff.
I can see that.
Yeah. I think there's a middle ground, which I think you just highlighted, Tuan. And I think the reason I said that is because for whatever reason, it's probably because I was in the cannabis industry for such a long time, is putting your name on a CBD product is like a cash grab all day. And that's like his newest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree with
that. So just because of that one, I'm like, all right, well, that offer came, and he's like, oh, I'll take it. Sure. It's called
Smart.
You're thinking of the music side, Tone, more.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Okay. Oh, he's in there all day. Oh yeah.
He's a producer too, and he does well with that. I mean.
Yep. Yeah. One last comment about Bruce Dickinson is, there was big beef with the Osbournes in Iron Maiden because
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I guess the nights that they were headlining Ozfest, Bruce was like talking shit about Ozzy, like between songs and whatnot, and Ozzy never heard it, but Sharon did. Ozzy's in his own world. And I'll never forget, I think this was during when the Osbournes was on TV, because there was a clip of where it showed Sharon grabbing the mic on stage and saying, Bruce Dickinson's an asshole. And that's every time I hear that dude's name, that's all I think about is that scene.
That's great.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Well, Sharon's one to speak because I've read many things about Sharon not being the coolest person, so it might be the other way around. But
Are you saying Sharon Osbourne's an asshole?
That's exactly what he was getting at.
Yeah.
Nice. I think we found the name of the episode.
Things that I've read. But who knows? Right? To each their own. So yeah, I'm happy you set me up perfectly, Tuan, because my next guest focus here is...
They're here? They're on? Yes.
They're on. They're here.
Tom Morello, how you doing?
Maynard, hey.
I wish. I would be super stoked if we got this guy on. Any guesses? I'm going to keep it that vague.
I mean, Jesus.
Wait a second. You didn't give a single hint. Other than you'd be stoked to have them on.
All right. What decade OG are they?
I always go 90s for some reason. Yeah.
What decade OG? Great question.
DJ Product.
No.
He's cooking, I heard.
Yeah. I know. I saw him cooking today when I was in San Diego.
Is he your personal chef, dude? Jesus, get him on the pod.
We are off the rails.
I'm three hazies in, so I'm definitely feeling it.
All right, Nate, give us a hit. 90s OG, give us something else.
All right, 90s OG. We're huge punk fans. I feel like I don't want to give more than that.
Dexter's hot sauce.
Yes.
Nice.
Is it really?
Yes. Yep. Tried to avoid it just because I thought it might be an obvious one, but maybe not, especially to people out there listening.
It was your hints, man. Your hints gave it away.
I know. It's so
totally
specific.
Yeah.
So specific, or as I like to say, super Pacific. Dexter Holland, frontman and vocalist for The Offspring. Yeah, this guy's a multi-talented person. Not only is he a songwriter, he's got his PhD in molecular biology. So very smart person. And he uses those talents to create his own hot sauce, which started as a hobby and actually turned into a full-fledged consumer product good, which I see at many retailers all through California. I think do you guys find that product out there at all or no?
Never seen it.
What's the name of it?
Okay. It's called Grando Bandito hot sauce.
No,
Fantastic hot sauce.
I've never seen it, but I don't know.
I'll send it out with the next batch of Deftones and other random collab stuff out here. But yeah, he just did it as a little, it's probably a science project, given the fact that he has a PhD in molecular biology and probably just tooled around with different things. And I guess he pitched it to some local stores and it took off. And now literally in like every major grocery store out here, it's there with all Tabascos of the world. And very detailed because it's a really good hot sauce. I mean, I think hot sauce is in the vein of craft beer. Like there's people that collect them and rate them and the whole nine. So yeah, he went into this business and launched it, I think with really no expectations. And it's kind of teeters that fine line of, is he putting his name on it because the label is him, but it doesn't say Dexter Holland hot sauce. It's Grando Bandito with like a nice illustration, and the product's like award-winning hot sauce. And to kind of bring it to the whole Deftones story, once this started to get traction, he worked with our guest Justin Beer Punks. What episode was that?
25
with a taco, so like a food / beer / music festival down here in Southern California to kind of showcase the hot sauce in tandem with like a taco, like the best taco in Orange County type festival with the Offspring playing and beers and all this stuff pre-pandemic. And it was a great success. It's like everyone wins. Like, hey, now you see Offspring, but also check out Dexter's hot sauce while you decide for yourself what the best taco is in like Orange County. So, hand just kind of feeds everything. Like everything kind of goes in a circular direction. And it's cool because it's not just like I said earlier, it's not like a licensee, like I'm going to slap my name on it. It's like he actually like enjoys hot sauce, and with a molecular biology degree, probably like really went into the weeds on making this perfected. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just saw we could buy that on Amazon here, Twan. I don't know if it's in our grocery stores or anything like that, but Gringo Bandito hot sauce. That is smart. Like, let's have a taco festival. Let's play our band's music, sell CD vinyls, and all those tacos that you're like listening to, eating, and trying to like rate all my hot sauces on that too. Buy some of that. I mean, good for Dexter to be all that, as Nate likes to say, bi-directional value.
Yeah, every piece of it, he's all about it. But I actually do like the fact. I mean, I haven't seen all the packaging, but it sounds like he's not pimping his name. There's no reference to him or Offspring on it, which I think that's really cool. It tells me he's in it for really kind of the passion of the game. Oh, never mind, that's him. I'm just kidding.
I'm showing the the Gringo Bandito hot sauce bottle, and he's on there. But I mean, if you don't know, yeah, that's one of those. If you know, you know. That could be anybody. It doesn't say Offspring. It doesn't say Dexter Holland. It just says Gringo Bandito hot sauce. So
yeah, no, it's even more organic than the Deftones collab because it's literally like, if you know, and if you don't, you're a regular consumer that's like picking it up, like, I'll try this and I like it. And then you kind of like dig deeper and realize like, oh, this is the guy from this is random punk band. I don't even know who the Offspring is, whatever.
I mean, who doesn't know who the Offspring is?
Yeah, well, we're like in a different little like category where we know this stuff a little bit deeper. No, but it's cool because I think what a lot of people don't know about music festivals and concerts in general is a lot of the money's made in the concessions. So this collaboration with Grando Bendito and the Deftones Belching Beaver, I don't think it really came from the aspect of like, let's see how much money we can make. It really truly came out of Chino liking craft beer and Dexter Holland essentially liking hot sauce and being like, hey, this is another thing that I really enjoy, similar to Billy Corgan
That's the
and
vibe I
everything
get
we've
too.
talked. Yeah, everything we've talked about. Like, I could just call this the Offspring hot sauce and sell it at the merch table, but
That's
I'm
true.
not.
Yeah.
So
He gave it its own wings and let it fly.
yeah, it's own thing, and obviously you can cross promote it all day, but it's it's something that has some heart and soul to it, which changes the whole dynamic. And whether you're a fan of the band or not, like it eventually comes through. Like you definitely realize it at some point. Like there's other bands and things that I've seen for collabs that like I've unfortunately I've still purchased it for, like you said, Twan, for the collector's
Because
item
you're a nerd.
You're a sucker. No.
because I'm a nerd. But here's the thing: like I bought the product for the one-off, but am I a repeat customer of that product? The answer is no.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yep. So, and that's all it matters is the subscription.
Well,
Buyer.
and the two that you brought up tonight, Nate, I would absolutely, if Belching Beaver's beers made it to Maine, which they haven't yet legally, I would go buy those right now. If they were Deftones ones or not, but if they were Deftones ones for sure. Same with this hot sauce. It's not just a one-off. Okay, I made a hot sauce and now there's a little limited quantity and it's gone. No, this is a thing that he does, and it's an extra. It's a musician in a different space, and that's what the kind of the soul of this was, right? Whether it be Billy Corgan running wrestling on the side, or Wyclef wanting to be president of his country, that type of stuff. It's not just a one-off. It's not just here's this thing, here's my name, peace. I want a cash grab. That was what we were trying to look a little deeper tonight.
And while it wasn't planned, the hard times versus actual headline segment kind of fit this because,
Yep.
Bruce Dickinson being a fencer and
Wyclef being president.
I mean, it blurs the line of reality, which we're so fascinated by. At least I am, and I know you guys are. It's just like,
Totally.
For sure.
how does this happen? Why does it happen? Would it have happened if music wasn't involved? Just so many questions, and I say this every week. We got to get some of these people on. We got to know the story. Dexter.
Dexter does minimal interviews, but that would be cool. That would be cool. Dexter, we don't want to talk The Offspring. We want to talk Gringo Bandito hot sauce.
Yeah.
Please come talk with us.
Yeah. Let's talk hot sauce all night. No, but you're right, Twan. I mean, that line does get blurred, especially now because there's just so much crazy shit we read every day. Like, is this real life? And you almost have to fact check and cross reference to realize, oh, this is a real headline. Like when Kanye West first said that he was going to be president, I was like, this is a joke. And I was like, oh, this is actually real.
No, it was
crazy.
A joke. No, that was a joke.
Well, he actually.
He's the only one that
signed up.
believed it. Nobody else believed it was going to happen.
Yeah,
it was a
there's
joke.
truth to that. There's truth to that. Yeah.
I had him on my list for fashion. The Yeezys, bro.
Yeah. Fashion's been a little
Billionaire Club.
ingrained.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like fashion's been ingrained in the music industry for quite a long time. And that, I hate to say it, I feel like that is a cash grab because, I mean, the Versace's of the world, like, it's big money. Fashion, it's big money. Music. They kind of blend.
Rihanna with her Fenty line.
Yeah, they can go together for sure. Yep.
Yeah. There's different levels of it. Like the Belching Beaver Deftones collab is way different than a George Clooney Casamigos tequila, right? So
yeah. Yep.
I'm with you.
That was fun, boys. I enjoyed our kind of off the beaten path, tangent riddled nerdery as far as non-music but music related. That was fun.
And I think it sets the stage for a future musician athlete episode down the road.
Oh, that's there. That's for sure.
For sure.
I had a couple written down that started as athletes and went to musicians and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
We'll wrap it there. You got final thoughts?
I guess, I got some final thoughts. Is really kind of reeling back to what you said.
Surprised that Nate has a final thought. Go ahead, Nate.
No, the final thought is just kind of reeling back to what Twan said, which is if you have the brain that works in that way, Bruce Dickinson or even Dexter Holland, I mean, if you're Dexter Holland, let's just highlight him. Like, you have a PhD in microbiology. Like, your brain is just so dialed in that way all the time that you're probably like, I have to get this release out. I guess I'll make a fucking hot sauce.
Yeah, you're not going to not make hot sauce if you have a microbiology PhD, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to do something.
But Southern California, there's great Mexican food, I'm sure. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm going to make a hot sauce. I went to Harvard. He went to go to Harvard? Is that where he went to?
You're thinking of Rivers Cuomo.
Rivers. Where did Dexter get his PhD?
UC.
Somewhere in Cali, yeah.
Yep, University of Southern California.
Well, good for USC. So he went to USC to get his doctorate in microbiology, and it was to make the perfect hot sauce. And that's really what you should take away from this episode.
And the perfect album and Smash.
Smash is the perfect. It got me into punk. I mean, let's go.
Yeah. So final thought is don't sit on those degrees. You got to put it to use.
If you're listening, let us know a few other artists that are in other spaces, band members or solo artists and what they are. I mean, we just scratched the surface and we could do this 5 other times. But hit us up on socials at Patio Slave. And we are not sponsored by Ticketmaster. Not yet.
Not yet. Or ever.
We might decline that one. Yet. But appreciate everyone checking us out. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Peace, podheads.